sometimes people use the term tall in a non-comparative way. But like with respect to the point about ethics and stance dependence and stance independence, there are facts of the matter about your life and the requirements to live as a human being that
what makes something a fact?
What makes something a fact?
Mm-hmm.
Facts aren't made facts; they just are facts.
Well, that doesn't answer the question.
Well, yeah, because the question presupposes a category.
They are because they are as a tautology. Can you tell me what makes a fact?
You're presupposing that it's an explainable phenomena. Like the fact that facts are facts is not in fact.
Then why are you telling me? So what you're telling me right now is that there are facts, but you can't tell me what they are or what that is.
I just told you what the facts are. No. Your question was specifically.
I asked what is a fact. What is a fact?
Oh no, that's not what you asked. A fact is an aspect of reality.
Okay, and what makes that a fact?
What makes aspects of reality?
No, what makes a fact requires an interpreter, right?
No, why would that be required?
Okay, well then what makes it a fact?
What makes aspects of reality?
Well, wait a second. Are you saying that all facts are aspects of reality?
What makes chairs, Andrew?
Hang on, I just want to make sure I got this right. Rights are a fact of reality then?
Rights are facts, yep.
Okay, can you show me how they're factual?
Yeah, rights are factual because they identify the conditions required to live as a human being in a societal context. They identify aspects of reality.
And what would make that a fact?
What would make the fact a fact?
Mm-hmm.
In meeting the necessary.
What would make that a fact? What would make that a fact? Not
what would make what I just said a fact?
Yeah, no. What would make a right a fact?
So what would make the fact identified a fact?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what would make
what would make it a fact? This presupposes that facts are made facts.
So they just exist.
Yeah, facts just are facts. Facts are a brute, right? Facts are hold on one second, Andrew. Facts are ground zero, right? Like facts don't have to be made facts.
I see. So if it's the case that facts don't need to be made facts, then these are things which exist absent any minds to interpret them. Is that right?
Yeah, facts are the way they are, independent of you grasping that they're facts. Yep.
I see. So then if I had a right to a slave, what would make that not factual?
Well, if you assumed it was the case that you had a right to a slave, then it would have always been the case. But we can debate whether or not the proposition is true, albeit whether it corresponds to the facts. Because the assertion that you have a right to a slave, the debate is over whether or not you are identifying a fact or you're not. Like that's what the conversation's over. So just the assertion that you have a right to own a slave does not make it a fact.
So then asserting that you have a right to healthcare, housing, and food does not make that a fact either.
Yeah, I agree. We're not liberals.
Great. So then can you tell me real quick where this right comes from for housing and food?
We don't believe in a right for housing and food.
Okay,
I've clarified
that's what the entirety of the conversation was.
No, I've clarified that for you.
Rights. Yeah, the idea was about rights themselves.
Yeah, rights themselves are they're moral principles which sanction and define your freedom of action in a social context. That's what a right is.
So then tell me something. Why don't we collectively have a right to take shit from other people? If we wanted?
Because it violates the requirements of living your life in a society with other people.
Oh, no. We as a society have decided to take shit from another society.
Society deciding something doesn't change the fact that it's incompatible with the requirements of a flourishing society of cooperation.
How would it be? How were Vikings not a flourishing society?
Because they pillaged and disrespected the rights of individuals.
That didn't seem to stop their society from flourishing.
No, they in fact limited themselves as flourishing because they could have expanded their society and been more productive and achieved more.
They did expand their society. They expanded their society into other continents.
They could have expanded. But they could have expanded the people in their society, the amount of producers in their society, the amount of people that are cooperating. It's the same reason why increasing the supply of people.
They did that through slavery. Is good. They did that through slavery.
Yeah, but in fact, slaves are more productive when they're able to think and apply their ideas in the same way Vikings are.
They were allowed to do that in Viking society.
Which is why exactly if Vikings were slaves, they would not have been as good as they were. They were in fact only as successful as they were insofar as they were free, which is the exact same reason why societies are better when people are free, because slavery limits the potential of individuals, which limits the potential.
Right, but they were free to go raid other societies.
Right, but you said that still has the same problem I just identified.
No, it doesn't. They seem like they're flourishing fine.
It seems to you that if you enslave somebody, they're just as productive and just as capable of promoting the society they're a part of?
Yeah, well, it's the case that if you enslave somebody, they're going to be more capable. Hang on. It's the case that if you enslave somebody, isn't it the case that they're going to be more productive towards whatever your aim is than if they're not going to work for your society and not be a slave for your society.
It's the case that the best possible scenario is
Hang on.
only
I'm asking.
Do you see how I asked you a question prior?
I want to make
You asked me a
sure that
question
you
in
steel
response.
man what I just said.
I want you to make sure that you still man my question that I asked you.
Hang on.
I asked you a question prior.
Well, me first. I just asked.
I actually asked you a question first, Andrew.
What was the question?
Okay, my question was, do you understand that people are their most productive and most valuable when they are free to use their mind?
No.
You don't think that? Okay, cool. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
It would have to be demonstrated to me that that's the case.
Okay, so every single country and every single individual, the degree of their success is attributable to the fact that they utilized their mind, came up with an idea, and solved a problem by applying their mind to the problem they were trying to solve.
That doesn't necessitate freedom, though.
It does. Matter of fact, if you were not able to utilize your mind and then apply it to the world, if you were physically restricted, if you were under the ownership of people and they arbitrarily dictated what you could and could not use your mind and apply to, right? All those different things that in fact undercuts the conditions required for you to be the most productive you can be.
So then kids shouldn't have parents guide their mind?
No, that doesn't work either, because children, in fact, don't have the mature developmental faculty we're talking about. And to the degree that children develop their autonomy in thought is to the degree that they develop their autonomy in rights, which is exactly why the rights that are afforded to children is proportionate to the gradual development and maturation of their rational faculty. So that is not
should we restrain any thoughts?
With the use of force?
Yeah.
The only thing that should be restrained utilizing the use of force is the initiation of physical force.
So you should only use force to stop force.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we use force for other things as a deterrent?
Because it violates
like tax violations.
Sure, yeah, because it violates the preconditions of a compatible society where everyone